Alright, welcome folks. Here it is, October 17th. Backdrop just came in today. So tomorrow we're going to put it up. There are all the 6-foot pieces rolled out, nicely labeled. I say David Backdrop Junction does a really nice job. He starts off labeling it. You can see that, Bennett A, and then it goes Bennett B, C, D, E, etc., etc. Got the foam roller ready. Just did a final sand check of all the masonite. So tomorrow will either be a very good day or a very bad day. We're going to try to get it all up tomorrow. Don't know if we will. We'll do an update later unless we got so mad we're in jail or something like that. Like I said, it's a lot. You got the bench work down over here for easy access to the wall. Everything's been taken out that can be moved out. We took that one piece of bench work out. There's my Alexander Keith's Amber Ale for those from Canada. Good beer. Need something to get ready for tomorrow. So we got that piece of bench work out for access, so we're pretty much ready to go. So this is just a pre-video prior to Saturday the 18th. And hopefully tomorrow this pan right here will have a nice backdrop all the way up. Either that or we'll be insane. We'll let you know tomorrow. See you then. Alright, welcome back. Sunday morning. Last night we did get the backdrop up in its entirety. The backdrop itself is about 1,480 linear inches, just over 123 feet. Again, it's from Backdrop Junction. It's the acrylic polypropylene adhesive backed, and we learned quite a bit. I'd say we definitely made some mistakes, and I'm going to go through that just so people can understand. We started right here. When you get the backdrops from Backdrop Junction, Dave does a nice job. They're all labeled, and ours are labeled Bennett A through Bennett R or something like that. And then you start right there with Bennett A, and it's roughly this entire. I won't explain the exact ones, but you can make them up, and what Dave does is kind of stitch them all together for you. And it goes around the whole room. Then we had some issues. Like I said, we're going to show you all the good and the bad. The first one went on fine. They come in 6-foot sections. The second one, which started here, we aligned it off a little bit. You might be able to see it's off just slightly there, and then it was angled and it walked up the wall. And one of the problems that we have is we put the backdrop right on the wall and right up to the drop ceiling, so anything that walked was going to be a problem, especially as you're trying to unroll a 6-foot section. So you can see how this one walked, and we had to trim it a little bit, and then it got wrinkled. I don't know if you can see the wrinkles. They might not show up. They don't really show up from when you're back a little bit, but this is definitely a D- section here. And then since it walked up, the next one obviously was misaligned because we lined it up with the normal top of the 30-inch, and since the other one had walked, it was off. Well, like a bunch of idiots, we didn't trim it. We just put it in. What we should have done is just trimmed that 1/2 inch or so off the top, and then on both sides here it would have lined up much better. You can see just about I'd say a 1/2 inch or so on each side. So that was definitely a mistake. So if you have a backdrop and one of them walks for some reason, just trim the sky off the next one and it will line up. So that was a mistake. We did that subsequently. We learned. Had a few issues coming around some of these tighter corners. It definitely had an issue here. I don't know if you'll see it right in there. It really got wrinkled real bad, so we're gonna have to touch that up a little bit. Like I say, I'm not even sure what's going to show up on the video, the wrinkles we had. Mostly in the first couple ones here, because then we got a little bit better at it. as we went along. We kind of learned. We propped all the drop ceiling up so the roll wouldn't hit it. As we were going along, we got much better at lining things up, and my son Steve came up with a good idea how to line things up, and it worked out very, very well. You can see here's a joint in here that's lined up a lot better as we went along. Really do like the backdrops. Do like the adhesive polypropylene. They also make a different one, adhesive vinyl, but that costs a little bit more. And for the amount that I had for 123 feet of this crap, I decided to go with a little more financially small amount. The way he does, there's another joint that we made, came out pretty good. And again, there's some wrinkles in here. I don't know if you can see them from coming around this 45 corner here. And then we didn't trim it very well. There's some white. I don't know if that's going to show up, but we'll touch that up. And then back in that corner, we'll touch that up a little bit. Right here is a blend. This is where one of his backdrops ends and the industrial one starts. So that's where he blended them together. He does a pretty nice job of blending them together. And again, there's a couple misalignments back in there, but again, there's going to be buildings in front and whatnot. So other than probably painting into those two corners a little bit, we probably won't have to do a whole lot. I think that'll work out pretty well. Here's another shot of a blend. This one's a little harder from this backdrop to this. This is kind of a mountainous scene from central Pennsylvania. This was more of an industrial type town scene, so you can see how he does the photoshopping in there. Actually pretty good, I think. I think the problem we're going to have, again, you need room to blend in, and the way I designed the layout, there's not a lot of room from the track up to the backdrop, so I'm not exactly sure how we're going to pull that off, but we'll manage. Here's another blend, again from one of the mountain scenes to another. This is where he kind of softens it and does the blend across the section, so I think that turned out pretty nice. I mean, you can see them, but again, once you get the scenery in front of it, I think it'll work out fine. We did walk a little bit, come around the curve on this one, but we just let it go because we got tired of things being messed up, so it did walk a little bit, so we might touch that up just a little bit. But basically, like I said, once my son came up with the idea, there's no wrinkles at all on this, almost this entire back run. So it came out pretty good. Here's another blend. You can see that there from one section to another. He kind of had to soften the trees a little bit there and whatnot to make that blend. And then it comes down for around the wall jut out here where the main water house sewage drain is. We decided to just put a little piece in there and a piece on the front. I think we're going to actually put a building around this. I don't know, some type of fertilizer facility, a grain facility, something like that kind of matches in the motif. There's one of the cuts that we did that was off a little bit. That's like a quarter of a tree sitting right there, but the rest of it does line up pretty good. So I wasn't too worried about that, because again, at this level the layout will be, you know, roughly in here. So by the time you get track and some buildings and a little bit of, you know, structures in there and whatnot, it's gonna probably hide that pretty good. We decided to leave this section here again because if we're going to put a building around it, we might just, you know, kind of paint that upper part blue to match the sky or something like that. There's another blend. You can see how we went from this to this. That's a little bit harsher of a blend. Still pretty well done. Everything matches up, you know, visually, height-wise, and the clouds all match up pretty good. But you can see that's definitely quite a break there. So if we have a building across the back there, that might help hide that. I said we got a little bit better. There's a joint right there that's off by maybe a 32nd or so. So we got better at it. I said no wrinkles along this whole back side here for the whole run. We did have to cut it out a little bit around this window just to make it fit. I think it's fine. And again, a little bit of a corner, maybe dab a little bit of with the blue paint and some, just to kind of blend it a little bit so it doesn't stick out like a dark line. And again, here another issue. I'm not sure how we're going to deal with it. This is so darn close. The backdrop's up here, the track is here, and based on the radiuses, it's really close. So I don't know what in the world I'm going to do to make that blend in, but that's a challenge for another day. Here's another blend from one to the other. You can see how he did it along there. Pretty nice. It's actually kind of blended even over in this area a little bit, kind of where the cornfield ends. So I think it matches in fairly good. And again, we decided to do the corners there and whatnot. So overall, it was a long day, tiring day, but we got it done. So this morning we're going to hop in and get the rest of this bench work permanently installed, and then have to get the power circuits with the switches out to the front of the layout there, get that all done. So if you're going to do a backdrop, I'd say backdrop junction is a pretty good choice. At least I was happy with it. There are other options out there, but Dave was good to work with, and he helped custom design this for me and blend everything together, and it was very well labeled, and it went up fine. It was really our issues, our mistakes were the problems with it, not anything at all to do with the backdrop. So that's that. Just a quick update. We also did fix the issue, if you recall, from our curve here. We lowered it down. We took out the 1x2 that was under Lake City there, so that dropped it by about 1.5 inches. And then what we did was from here to here is level, so it doesn't come off this and drop right away. Basically from here to about here, might not be quite enough, it's kind of a transition grade. I kind of let it a little bit of a lesser grade, and then the rest of the way, all the way around to about there, is about 1.4% or so. That's what it worked out to. And then here to here is a little bit of a transition, a little bit of a lesser grade, and then here to here is level. So that's how we did that. It looks a lot better. Hopefully it'll operate a lot better. I didn't do any additional testing with the long cars over it, but it looks pretty good. Kind of a pain to put this in. I don't know if there's easier ways to do it. Like I said, we're not master model railroaders, but it was a real pain in the butt just trying to align all these, with all the clamps and try to get to a consistent grade without monkeying around all the time was really annoying, but we got it done. So that, I think, has been fixed. So once the bench work's done, now we have a lot of track work to make. We might actually start putting the cork down in here, getting this curve in and installed and whatnot, and then we got to start doing this, the road bed in the back and whatnot. So that's the update for now. So we had the backdrop installed, a little bit of a few problems, but we got it up. I think overall it looks pretty good. Adds a nice little new dimension to the layout. So that's where we are. So now we're going to go into and get this bench work up, and maybe at the end of the weekend do one final thing and put these all into one update for later today or tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Alright, just after 10 o'clock Sunday night. Gonna do a quick wrap up of the weekend. Previously we went to the backdrop. So once we got that done, we went and got all the other bench work up. Actually got the plywood all installed for the yard, since it's all going to be nice and flat. Like I said, visible staging. Everything's been cut, countersunk, installed, sanded. Everything's nice, pretty nice and smooth. This is just the track plan kind of laid down there to kind of get an idea what it's going to look like. Everything so far looks like it's going to fit relatively well. Over there on the right will be the engine terminal, 3-track engine terminal, so to speak. Far left there, that's a switching lead for the intermodal yard. And the intermodal yard starts basically here on the left, right out there by the aisle. So got all that is in, all that plywood is in. This curve is not yet in. Probably do that this week. Just starting to figure out how we're gonna get things aligned and then get the grade in. Factory area, all that plywood is in, and installed, countersunk, sanded. As the overall plan, I did modify that open area there to the left. This area here was originally planned to be there and was there, but then looking at it, I realized since there's going to be buildings here in this corner, there is no way I would be able to work on them either reaching from the aisle or from that original opening. So decided to go ahead and add that opening, and again it'll be removable. Probably put some foam in there. So this one's probably going to be a parking lot, or maybe that one will be a parking lot. But anyway, they'll be easily removable to be able to get into work buildings and stuff in this corner, and then obviously this you can reach. Well, we'll work all the buildings and whatnot in that corner. So that's it. So the weekend was pretty much the backdrop, and then finalizing the bench work for the yard. The week ahead will most likely entail working on the fast track number 8 switches. I need a bunch of them. I figured out how many I need. 17 rights, 17 lefts, 4 right hand crossovers, 4 left hand crossovers, and then a smattering of number 6s for everything else. So that's it for the weekend. So hope you're enjoying watching. Leave any comments below. Any questions, just let us know. Like I said, we're trying to forge ahead here, just kind of show folks what we're doing. We don't claim to be experts, but we're having a lot of fun and getting it done. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.